Happy Friday
Hey, welcome.
to us, you, everybody. I'm going to get rid of this thing here.
You know, that was a great idea. We always have every Friday some kind of topic that we cover. And John was like, today we're just not going to cover anything.
Well, I
It's
said,
just
how
gonna
about
be-
why do zebras have stripes?
He said, how about it's a free for all? Ask any question. I will, of course, go through
Well, let me put this out. I'll do
all
every
the-
week. I forget to do this.
all the questions. Yes, make sure we don't hear anything extra on there. There's no humming. Sometimes there's a hum, but it's from your actual computer.
You know what it is? And the
fan.
microphone's right there. But we have a directional microphone. We got the little Yeti mic, Yeti Blue. And what it's set to is us. You can set it for the room.
Okay.
It's great. This is information you never needed to know.
So hi, welcome,
Hi.
Brian. What was the first concert that you attended, and when and where did you see it?
We went to we met around when Titanic was released, and that's sort of topical these days because of the submarine. But I remember one of the first shows. That's what it is. One of the first shows we ever. I don't know what the first
concert I ever attended. I want to say it might have been in BC, Platinum Blonde.
You saw Platinum Blonde?
I did.
I never saw Platinum Blonde.
And I saw them in Kelowna. So I think that was one of the first concerts that I do remember seeing when I was younger. Of course, as I got older, I saw other ones. But
for our American friends, they never really it made inroads in the U.S., but not major. They're Canadian band. If I remember, they're from Ontario. I don't remember. I don't really know that much about Platinum Blonde. But is it still doing that?
It is.
What the heck?
Phyllis, hi Shannon, John. We are new to your site and love it.
Hey, thank you.
We are New Yorkers living in Florida. We look forward to chatting, to catching you live. Best wishes, Bob and Phyllis. Hi, Bob and Phyllis. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you for joining us.
Great.
There's a song by a Canadian band. I mean, people always they say, well, you're Canadian. Well, 95% of the people who go on our channel are American, right? And why is it still doing that? That's so strange. You guys still hear us okay, right? But 99% of the people who go on 95 are American, maybe 90. And we don't have a lot of Canadians. It's not like we're getting recognized. And it happened twice when we got recognized. We were buying flooring in Moncton, New Brunswick when we lived there for a year and a half. And some guy said, aren't you the rock guy from YouTube? I'm going, but I say the Florida thing because there's a Canadian band called Canoe. And they on their Rendezvous album, they've got big, thick French accents. And actually, Rachel Paymont, who's one of the lead singers, married Jim Valance of the Bryan Adams Band. She's okay. That's our autistic daughter. She's making a lot of noise tonight. So anyway, there's a song on there where the French guy, the lead singer, says they're going to Florida. Very French, very Quebec. That was a long way to get there.
Well, that was like
that was a twisty, turny road.
Although I will have to say, when we were over back east, and we decided to go get a coffee. So we throw on our sweats, go out to get a coffee, and what happens? Yeah. Someone recognizes you, and I just laugh because I go, maybe you should always go out and dress your best.
Dress your best.
Time you're out,
your best.
Yeah, and it was just, so you're schlepping it, just relaxing, and just so happens that you run into someone who recognizes you, and I'm like, that's right, where to wear the sweatpants.
Okay, off topic, what is that beside the birdhouse?
Looks like a bird.
Oh, it is a bird, okay.
So, continue on here. Fraser J, hey Fraser, how long has John been James Bond? Hope you guys are well.
I got something for you guys, since it's this is when Shannon and I first met. There you go.
This was back in 1997.
See, I didn't look like a boot back then, and you still looked incredibly lovely. This is our bowling night when Shannon, we used to have I've said this before, we used to have a media night where, this is 1997. This would have been March of 97, the first month we met.
Is this where you're going to say I kicked some butt?
You kick butt. Shannon, we'd have this media night where a lot of broadcasters would get together, sometimes a few TV people, but mostly radio people. And Steve Burgess, my best friend at the time, he's the guy who gave me all those interviews, came and anyway, I said, do you want to come to bowling night? And she said, okay, sure. She used to always wear those long dresses that you're wearing there. You wear those all the time. And Shannon ran her own family business store. I was very proud of her when I first met her. And anyway, she went there and she kicked butt. That's me holding my glasses because I never took pictures with my glasses.
Oh, that's right.
I always took my glasses off. And then I realized that, well, I wear my glasses all the time, unless I'm working
Oh my
and I
gosh,
take my
that was
glasses
so
off.
long ago.
That was a long time.
1997.
Okay, wait, one more. And this is the first picture we ever took together. There it is, at our place, 1997. That would have been our second date in March of 1997. Wow. A long time ago. We had 2 kids. Shannon sometimes says she has 3 kids if she counts me. What?
Exactly. Rick May, greetings from Ohio. Just finished listening to that Rolling Stones hit. It's only whack and roll, but I like it. Don't forget to hit that like button, folks.
Thanks.
Thank you. Rick, you kill me. That's so funny. Thank you, everyone, for always hitting the like button. It helps, again, we'll say, with the algorithm.
It really does
help with the channels. And Rick, you make me laugh every week. Gary says, hello, everyone. Janet, good evening, all. Mystical Analytics 60, you guys think you could convince the skunk to join the leg of the Dobie 50 tour? I know he said no, but it's just unreal to sit in with every other band besides the Doobies.
I don't think he would. Jeff Skunk Baxter. I mean, he said he's open to it, but he said the way Steely Dan is, for instance, the first big band he was in, he said the way they're in, they've kind of got their units set. And the Doobie Brothers, he says, well, I've always considered myself an honorary member, not maybe as Michael McDonald, but for a minute there, I had no idea what you were talking about. The Skunk, what? But yeah. Anyway, we interviewed Jeff Skunk Baxter twice, so it was about 3 hours worth of interviews.
Darren, good afternoon, good evening, good morning, wherever anyone is on this chat, and that's about it. I think it's so cool that it's so eclectic. We've got people from everywhere, different time zones, different. We had a guy,
John from Australia, who was just in town, and he wanted to meet up, and I went, sure, let's meet up, and I realized at that point I'm not even friends with him on Facebook. Facebook, yeah, that's a good one, and. He says, how come you want to meet me? I could be a serial killer. I says, well, I don't know. I just kind of trust people. You know, I looked at your page and you follow Rock History Music. By the way, please follow, and it's in the description. I didn't realize this, but we need 10,000 subscribers. We have 115,000 on this YouTube channel. But in the description, there's a link to our Facebook, Rock History Music, Rock History Book site. Please follow us on that. It's really going to help us out because in order for us to get monetized on it, we need 10,000. And we've not done anything with it since maybe the last month, and you get all our shorts on there. We're going to start putting, more like exclusive videos on there. So please join on Facebook, Rock History Music, and then please spread the word. Just say, these guys are better than Paul McCartney. No, don't say that. Don't say that.
Spacey, greetings from South Texas. Hello.
Hey.
Kim Trickle. Hi, Kim.
Hi, Kim. Kim's been supporting us for a long time.
Missing Mars said, I know it's not journalistically correct, but I love how you interview with your feelings on the material in general.
Well, it's YouTube, right? And the thing is, when we went to journalism school, the journalism part of my course, which was, Mel Stevenson was an old radio guy who always said, don't put yourself in the story, don't put yourself in the story. And he taught us things like, if you want, he didn't call it clickbait back then, if you want to get a lot of people angry, but you'll get a lot of people watching or reading, you say what's outside the norm. If everyone thinks this is that, come up with a reason why it's not that, and then everyone will read your stuff. And he said, don't become one of those guys. Try to get 2 points of views. He taught us a lot of things about that, but his big thing was don't put yourself in the story. And even back then, hi, Danica, say hi.
Say hi.
Okay. Hi, she's coming up. Okay, come here.
Great. Hi.
They can't see you. There she is. Autism at its best.
Okay. Okay, see ya.
Yeah, she's always curious. She always wants to know. It's okay, Danica. No one's sleeping.
John at Village Advisory. Good day from Melbourne, Australia. Looking for my sunglasses. Blinded by the tops.
Oh, yeah. I got this from Simmons, which is a Quebec manufacturer. They're not outside Quebec an awful lot, but when we were visiting your sister in Park Royal, if anybody knows Vancouver, in West Vancouver, we were there and I saw this top and it was on sale on it because they're usually very expensive. I always wear expensive shirts that I get on sale. I can't afford, even my Robert Graham shirt. That was like a $300 shirt that I got for $100. She bought it for me for my birthday.
Kim Trickle, seeing Peter Frampton tomorrow night.
Hey, Kim goes to so many shows. Good for you.
James hops on. Hello from Dogtown Road, Shannon. John, hope your family is well and happy
Thank you.
Friday.
Happy Friday to you. Thank you for coming
let
on.
the dog in, please.
Let the dog in.
Danica. The dog.
Danica,
dog.
let the dog in.
Thank you.
She's spinning tonight, so we have to watch her because she has seizures.
Michael says, hello, John and Shannon.
I don't know if you got that, but what I was saying is when she's spinning this much, we have to watch her carefully because she'll have a seizure once a month.
Correct 777, Journey, Pat Benatar, 1980.
Oh, for your first show?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Alex Knight. Hey, Alex. Hi
hey,
from
Alex.
Boston. Happy summer. Happy summer to you, too.
Beautiful family. I always say the same thing. Beautiful home, beautiful family, beautiful life. Talented musical family, that's for sure.
Darren, I went to school with an individual named Michelle whose mother was a huge Beatles fan, hence the song. John, from your bio in iHeartRadio, was your eldest son named after musician Mark Jordan?
No. It was my ex. I wanted to name, I'll get to it in a second. I wanted to name my ex-wife and our daughter, Shannon, because I love the song Shannon so much. And she didn't like the name Shannon. So happy wife, happy life. She came up with Candace, and I like Candace. I thought it was a good name. With Mark, I'm pretty sure I wanted to call him John, and we tried that here. That didn't work either with Chase. And she said, "Let's go with Mark, but we'll do it with the C, so it's French."
But we did.
Middle name.
We did put John in for the pets we had.
Yeah, that's great.
Middle name.
Golly gee. So anyway, no, it wasn't because of Mark Jordan. And I was a big Mark Jordan fan, but not at a point where I'd name. And I just talked to him again. I've just got another. We've always got 30 interviews in the can. There's never, and you might think, well, get them out. It just takes forever to put an interview in. Oh, here's another member of the.
Want to join us here?
Look at.
Hi.
Member. What is he, Shannon?
He's a cockapoo-poo.
He's nervous. Yeah, what does that mean, Shannon?
That means three-quarter cockapoo and
Cocker spaniel.
Three-quarter poodle and a quarter cocker spaniel.
Yeah, and he looks like a cocker spaniel, and not like a poodle.
Yeah,
but all his brothers and sisters look completely different.
They all looks like a teddy bear.
And they were beating him up. They were hard on him, and he's very sensitive. And you're a good boy.
So we named him Rudolph because we got him just after Christmas.
I thought of the Supertramp song Rudy.
So we named him Rudolph John.
I don't know.
Buck Brown, good evening, everyone. Bella, hi, John, Shannon, friends. Hi. Sue Bailey, hi, John and Shannon.
Hey, Sue Bailey.
James says, good evening, everyone. Hope you're doing well. Please don't forget to hit that like button. Thank you so much.
Like button, and please follow us on. If you want to follow us on Instagram, we're on Instagram. We're on TikTok now, but right now we're trying to monetize our Facebook page. Because we're putting shorts on there, at least 3 shorts on there every single day. Like we just put, you haven't seen it, we just put up Stuart Epps talking about Roger Taylor just a few minutes before we got on. Roger Taylor was on Elton John's Ice on Fire album, and Gus Dudgeon was the producer, who was the producer of Elton John's early 1970s stuff. Well, not early, all of 1970s stuff for the most part, except a few exceptions. And I guess Roger was either Rusty or Gus. Gus was very much like Richard Perry, where there was a lot of stuff going on. No, that's not right. Let's do it again. No, that's not right. Let's do it again. It drove musicians crazy. And Gus is dead now. But anyway, Roger wasn't having a good day in the studio. So check out that short. It was just put up 15 minutes ago.
Tina says, you two are amazing. Bella says, you guys look marvelous. Thank
you. Ooh, you want to come up?
Michael says, hello from Reno, Nevada. Hey. Hi, Michael. Blaze.
I was just thinking we wanted to go to Reno. Oh, is that Blaze?
Yeah, Blaze Eisner, brother and sister. Shan, what do you think about Burton, who played guitar? Did he do Undone? And y'all look fantastic. God bless. He did a really good concert.
It was amazing. And like there was the problem with the
guitar. Was it the
the bass player? The bass player was the original bass player for Rush. And he's also played with Tom Cochrane, Red Rider, and I don't know his name. I've got to track him down. I'll have to interview him. But the guitarist, I don't know, he had 2 guitarists. They kept interchanging lead guitar. He's had that band for 20 years. There's a gentleman that just contacted me the other day. He says, I've known Burton for forever. He's going to try to get me to do an interview with him. having seen the concert, it kind of gives you different perspective to, and what he does. When we get another Mac, we're gonna have a better camera than this. This is a little grainy.
Aaron says, "Hello, John and Shannon. Do you remember the band? I want to say Harmonium.
Harmonium. Yeah, I interviewed.
They were from Quebec and formed in Montreal in 1972 to 78. They were a progressive rock band. Great band.
I interviewed Serge. I'm going to put that whole interview up when they were just re-releasing. Basically, it was his band. They were just re-releasing the classical version of Harmonium, to which I was a fan. And he talked about a lot of stuff. I'm going to have to put that up on the Canadian channel because they're not that well known outside Canada. So that's the rule. The Burton Cummings stuff, for the most part, since Burton's an international artist and everyone seems to know him, guess who? Burton Cummings. I will put that on Rock History Music. But for a band like Harlequin, a band, I think, where were they from? Regina, Winnipeg? Forget. For them, I would put that interview up on Rock History Canada because there's no point in me putting up a band. And it's not that we don't want to help them. They're past their prime. They're just a touring classic rock band now. So that's our protocol for the Canadian channel. We do that because we don't want to. Why would we put unknown bands too on our mostly American channel?
Bella says, "Question: what are some of your favorite vocal pairings in rock?"
Wow, that's a whole
video.
That's a whole
other show.
We just put the Kenny Loggins, Steve Perry thing up when they did their duet. One of the worst would be Michael Jackson and Paul McCartney. There's one of the bad ones that, I like that. What's her name? The one that did the thing with Iggy Pop. Is it Peaches? Yeah, Peaches. That was one of my favorites of all time. That song where someone will know it. The zombies are going through. That's one of my favorite duets of all time. It's so raw and ridiculous. And yeah, I like it. Look it up. Iggy Pop, Peaches.
So Vincenzo says, "Hello from Italy. Do you think
Ace Frehley and Peter Criss should
be allowed to join Kiss on stage for the last two concerts in December?"
Of course. I don't know if it's going to happen. They really should, but what's his name? Gene Simmons. Gene Simmons has this thing where, I don't care. And sometimes I just hope it happens. It'll be nice for the fans.
Fraser, John, with your interviews...
Is it Fraser Jake?
Yeah, with your interviews with the Toto guys over the years and with Steve L recently, do you get a chance to hang out with the guys backstage if you ever go to a Toto concert near you? Yeah, I can answer that. Yes, we did. It was great. It was great.
Yeah, we did. We've got. I can't. I don't know if I could find any. I don't think we. Yeah, I don't know if it. It's on our page. If you're Facebook friends with us, just look up John Beaudin, Toto, Shannon Edwards, and you'll find them. Just look on your Facebook. If you're Facebook friends with us, you'll find them. I'm wearing a red thing, which is a red Toto 4 T-shirt, which I gave my brother, Charles. I'm basically carrying that, and we were kind of hijacked because it was the Toto group. That's a place we were really recognized. And you don't want to. I like going to concerts and just being kind of left alone, sort of thing, but the people we were talking to were really cool. But we were at the door. We were talking to a couple of people who watch our channels all the time. Because back then I was doing even more Toto stuff than I'm doing now. And we were just there. And then people would pass by and say, "Hey, John." Because she wasn't on that much back then. So.
Cal Vid, my first real concert was Yes opening for Black Sabbath at the LA Forum in 1971. It's the first time I heard...
Is it here?
Yes. It's the first time I heard Heart of the Sunrise. Only the Roundabout single was played in LA radio.
Wow.
KLOS 95.5.
Hey, Calvid, we share each other's videos because in our suggested videos, Calvid has a lot of great videos that he puts up on. And one day they just got a hold of me and said, "Hey, we'll promote you if you promote us." And I'm going, "Well, that's not fair. You're way bigger than us." But they did, which was really nice. So thank you.
Some people are saying hi to Danica. Who was your favorite Canadian group and your favorite Canadian solo artist? And this is from Rickman.
Easily April 1. To me, April 1, no one touches April 1. And I would like to say Miles Goodwin because he's their lead singer, but he's not really. He was a solo artist, but really wasn't known as a solo artist. I don't know, solo artists. Oh God, Mark Jordan's one. God, I had so many I used to like BIM a lot. Roy Forbes, Ray Materik. I used to like Andy Kim. I was a big Andy Kim fan. What else? Oh God, Burton Cummings. Burton Cummings probably one of the top ones. Gordon Lightfoot, Joni Mitchell. Now it's coming. Now it's starting to flow. I just went blank when you said that.
Gennaro, greetings from Montreal, Quebec. Hit that like button.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
I was born in Montreal, Quebec, 1960.
John Myler, I know the show focuses on music from the past, but your job puts you in a position to hear new music. Do modern labels realize how awful the music they put out is?
Well, they don't think it's awful, right? And I don't think it's awful either. We listen to a lot. But mind you, what we listen to on the coffee, what is it, coffee shop? Coffee, what is it called?
Yeah, Coffee House?
Coffee House. We listen to that on Sirius XM. And for that, it's mostly acoustic versions of newer music. Like I'll play on my radio show. It's not mine. Remember, I work for a major company in major broadcasting company, one of the biggest in Canada. There she is.
There she is.
And I haven't programmed music since 2003, 2007. That's the last time I programmed what I was playing. But I was the program director back then, and the music director, and the morning host. And so that was the last time. So now most radio announcers, unless they're working at public radio station or else they're given a couple of hours just to play whatever they want, you're playing what you want. I don't mind the music I play. I'm not going to buy it. I'll listen to something near the end because I only hear the last 10 seconds of a song in the first 10 seconds because I space bar it for voice tracked. But sorry. Anyway, I don't mind the music I'm hearing. I'm not going to buy it, but I'm not one of those new music sucks. And I know who does that because he gets a lot of hits by saying that. But I don't even think he believes it. I don't think all new music sucks. There's so much good rock stuff. Americana stuff is freaking to die for. I think there's a lot of good music. It's just not the same as it was when we were growing up. You know, Rival Sons, I always mention. I love Rival Sons. They sound like Led Zeppelin on some of their songs, but I think that stuff is amazing, right?
We've got so many people to go through
Sorry.
here. Chuck says hello from West Georgia.
Hi, Chuck.
Hi, Chuck. Julian says, hi, John and Shannon. I understand that Ann and Nancy Wilson have started writing again, and there would be a tour next year. Do you know if a 50th anniversary reunion is still possible? And greetings.
Well, it was supposed to be this summer. And I asked the Fisher brothers, I asked Steve Fossen, Michael DeRozier, or DeRozier for French, if they were going to be part of it. They were all asked. And Steve Fossen and Michael DeRozier said they would like to pass because in Vancouver, Ann Wilson wanted to do a thing. And I think at one point Nancy wasn't part of it. So I'm not sure about that. I support the band 100%. I think, and again, like we said last week, you can say bad things about the 80s Heart all you want, but the 80s Heart clearly outsold the 70s Heart. I prefer the 70s Heart by a long shot. But to say that they were doing the wrong thing, they weren't doing the wrong. They were a band. They were trying to make a living. They did incredibly well. Like I said last week, the self-titled Heart album was their biggest album. Was it 5 times platinum? 6 times? 5 times, I think.
Gennaro says, the Montreal International Jazz Fest begins June 29th. I have my 2 tickets to see George Benson.
Oh, wow. I've seen George, but not heard him. I don't think he played at the Canadian Smooth Jazz Awards that year. Did he play? That first year, we gave him a Lifetime Achievement Award. I met him at Brett Dack's stage, interviewed him. We just found the interview just before we left. Remember? I found the interview. I thought I had lost it forever.
So I'm just going through. So Darren says, John, the bassist from Burton Cummings is Jeff Jones. I met Jeff in person in March 2017 before Tom Cochrane and Red Ryder performed.
Yeah, he's just got a thing about it, man.
And Jeff was also in the band Ocean, who had the hit
Put
Your Hands in the Hand. That's right, I remember. They mentioned that,
but yeah.
Mm-hmm. Flavolinator We have a severely autistic son who's 23 now, so we understand your journey. Speaking of journey, have you heard Generations radio debut album with Dean Castronovo?
Yeah, yeah.
Good stuff.
Well, I interviewed Jason Sheff, so we talked about it in depth. And Jason had to go halfway through the interview, and it was like an hour interview. So he said, I said, are you good? Yeah, let's talk. He just said, let's talk as long as you want. This is enjoying. And Jason said, I've watched a lot of your videos, which meant a lot to me. And then he had to go because something happened. And then he said, here's my number. Let's set it up again. I'm free these days. And he was there. And the next time we talked for 2 hours. He told me the best, I haven't put it up yet. I'm going to put it up. The best rehab story I've ever heard. Best one, when he was in Chicago.
Ella Vader, hi John and Shannon. Question: how do you look interested in what the interviewee is saying when they go on a little too long?
I don't really feel that. I don't. My son told me something that I didn't even notice. Here's something. My son was editing Mark Jordan. And he said, Mark really takes a scenic route to getting to his point. I'm going, I didn't feel that. And then he played me a clip and I went, that's just Mark. I've interviewed Mark 7-8 times now. And I find Mark to be one of the most interesting human beings that I've ever talked to. Like he is just my guy. I love Mark Jordan. He's not necessarily the full lane of this channel because this channel, rock seems to be doing a lot better on this channel. But Mark talks about, being in the studio with Jeff Porcaro and Jeff kind of rolling his eyes going, these guys. No, I never feel that. I'm always really appreciative of being there. And for me, when I'm doing an interview, I really want to be in the pocket of it. Like I'm listening. Like I'm really listening. I'm thinking about the next question. I'm trying not to look at my notes. If you ever see me looking on the side, my notes are usually right here on this side, on my MacBook, on a notepad. Because I used to look like this. I used to have my notes on my phone and they go, why are you checking your phone, you big nincompoop? Anyway, but I wasn't.
I'm jumping all around here. Robert says, hi, John and Shannon. Who is your choice for best male vocalist in rock? I like Paul Rogers.
Everybody. People just always pick Paul Rogers. Well, Shannon's more of a pop queen. She likes George Michael. She's loved George. I think even when she found out that he was gay, she'd still say, I'd give him half an hour of my time. I think it was 3 hours. I think that's what the term was. He's a good looking.
I was really crushed when he passed on.
He was Christmas Day. Remember, we were having Christmas dinner. I had to run downstairs and do an obituary. I said, I'm sorry, guys, but it's George Michael. And I think he's very talented. The fact that he wrote and played and produced. And people forget sometimes because my channel's Rock History Book. I love pop music. I just interviewed Bruce Blackman of Starbuck from Moonlight Feels Right. I love Henry Gross of Shannon fame's been on this channel multiple times. I'm trying to, if anybody knows Stephen Bishop, can you please tell him to get back to me? On and on. Little Italy with Shaka Khan. Oh my God.
Fraser J says, speaking of your music, Arctic Monkeys are from my hometown, Sheffield, and I think they are horrendous, but yet so popular. Music is very objective.
It really is, and anything that's thrashy, even though I did mention Iggy Pop and Peaches, that's an exception because I have a lot of respect for Iggy Pop. Best concert I ever saw was Iggy Pop with the Pretenders. Not with the Pretenders, opening for the Pretenders. I like melodic stuff. Chase is in a band now. They play a lot of Toto and Steely Dan and stuff that you got to have your chops together to play. They tried to play White Sister and the lead singer, who's a good lead singer, but it's very few people who can play. If you know the song, it's from Hydra, if I remember correctly. Anyway, it's just not many people can be Bobby Kimball. And by the way, I should mention this. John Zaka and I had a long conversation the last few days. We were just talking all the time. John Zaka is Bobby Kimball, former lead singer of Toto. Rosanna, Africa, White Sister. He's losing his mind. He has a debilitating brain situation, and they explain it. I just got a few days ago the 7-minute trailer for Kite on the String. Oh, be careful with that. We don't want to ban anyone by accident. And it made me cry at the end of it. I called John back and I said, "Oh my God, thank you so much for doing this for Bobby Kim." And they show Bobby now, and Bobby's not in good shape, and there's scenes of Bobby sleeping and scenes of Bobby just going, "I love you, man," which is something he does. So we're going to have John Zeka on either on Monday nights for a Q&A with all of you. I'll make sure I give you warning that, or Shannon will get on and give you a snippet. And at the end of it, we're going to premiere, not on this channel. Shannon will put the link on near the end at the very top of the description, where you'll be able to see Kite on a String, the documentary, 7-minute preview, gives you an idea what's going on. There's so many people on there. Mickey Thomas, all the Toto guys, Jason Chef, anyone who's had anything to do with Toto. Everybody who grew up with Bobby, his sister. It's just crazy who's on there. His daughter, who You Are the Flower was written for. Anyway, sorry.
Lawrence Alberts, hi John and Shannon.
Hi.
Have you ever done video interviews with Gino Vanelli or David Pack? Seemingly would be good.
We met both of them. Well, I met David Pack because I used to be the co-chair of the Canadian Smooth Jazz Awards. So, Gino. And Gino, we've got a picture with Gino. He's a little sweaty, but he smelled good. He just did a show. He's meeting us backstage.
This is right back to the 80s.
Oh my God. Damn good looking. David Pack too. But Gino's really aged well. So we have an interview with Gino Vanelli that Steve Burgess gave me, the guy I referenced a while ago. He gave me all his interviews. So we have an interview during the Black Cars stage with Gino Vanelli. It's an in-person interview. I think I just put it down from reel to reel to digital. Notice someone. Oh, whoa.
Todd Garland. Hey, Todd, what is your favorite film of a live concert or series of live concerts? Mine happened to be filmed in Canada. I'm referring to Festival Express, which featured The Dead, the band, Ian and Sylvia, etc.
Oh, yeah, way back.
Yeah, hey.
That's famous. I saw that on the CBC years ago. I don't know. I was just watching a few things with Leonard Skinnard. I've been communicating with Artemis Pyle, trying to get an interview with him. I'm not sure if it's going to happen. I hope it does. I mean, he was on that plane crash in 1977. Steve Gaines and his sister, and of course Ronnie Van Zant passed away on that plane crash. Man, that hit me. And like I said, I wasn't even the biggest Leonard Skinnard fan, but I always really appreciated their music. I talked to Henry Paul from the Outlaws, and he started that ball rolling with Artemis. So I hope I get a chance to. It'd be nice to have Artemis on here.
Bella says, John Anderson tells a story of playing in the Warriors in Sheffield, and the manager of the club asked if his friend could sing one. John said yes, and a tubby kid with a pint got up on stage and wanted to sing Hit the Road, Jack. John said he sounded like Ray Charles and asked him his name. He said, I'm Joe Cocker and I'm 16.
Oh my God. One of the few guys who took a Beatles song and made it better with a little help from my friends. Yeah. May he rest in peace. Joe's left us for quite a few years now.
Darren says, Shannon, in regards to Platinum Blonde, you mentioned seeing live. I met Mark Holmes in person after the band soundcheck. The band performed at my local fair in 2015.
Boy, they had Harry, Platinum Blonde. That's a lot of, yeah. Yeah, he was a good singer. He had a very distinctive voice. Still has. I think their bass player is the only guy who passed away, if I remember correctly.
David Ryder says, just finished Chrissy Hines' autobiography. She is Iggy Pop's #1 fan, that's for sure.
Yeah. Well, it meant a lot to her to tour with them. I remember at the time, there was only, when I saw them, 2 members of the Pretenders had died. And then, of course, was the bass player, the guy with the high hair. I don't know his name. He's not with them anymore, but he stayed with her for the longest time since the first album.
Frank, have you seen the comedy sketches Elton John did with Rowan Atkinson and Little Britain?
No. I have 2 seasons of Little Britain. Yeah, no. Remember? No, I used to hate that. Are you sure? Yeah, I want that one. Yeah, no. If you watch Little Britain, you'll know what that means.
Tina says, greetings from WV. I'm thinking West Virginia. John, who would you love to interview that you never have? And who was your most difficult interview? And you probably touched on that throughout the interviews.
I have. Peter Frampton want Peter Frampton. I love Stephen Bishop because he's got this wild sense of humor. I'm trying for Timothy B. Schmidt. I just reached out to them. Everyone wants Paul McCartney and Ringo Starr. I'd love to talk to them. Ringo doesn't do a lot of interviews.
Who was your most difficult, would you say?
Well,
you had to pick one?
Disappointing was Miles Goodwin, but he was good about it. It's just that I think he was his drinking style of April wine. And I say this all the time, and I'm not saying it to insult Miles. Miles is to me the greatest Canadian singer-songwriter of all time. He's just the best. But he meant so much to me because in the middle of it, he says, well, I'm not really in the mood to do this, but you seem like you know a lot about the band, so let's get it over with. And I was a little, but he gave me a great interview. He really did. And he's very honest. But to me, but it's not because he really did anything wrong. He didn't really do anything. And I don't mean like I'm backpedaling, and I can't find the interview. And it was Jim Clench, their original bass player, who came back. He left before The Whole World's Going Crazy. He left after Stand Back. Joined BTO for their 2 albums without Randy Bachman. Brian Greenway, who's still in the band. Jerry Mercer, who was their classic drummer, not their first, but their classic drummer. And he talked about religion a lot because I think he had a heart attack or something before. And Miles Goodwin. And whoever's on both sides, I think I've got Jim Clench and Brian Greenway, one on each side of the cassette. I cannot find the Miles Goodwin interview. But I do have 3 Miles Goodwin interviews that one from a co-worker and 2 from my friend Steve Burgess, or 1.
Hike with Mike. Hey, folks. Hi, Mike.
Hi, Mike.
Nice to have you join us. Kim says, met Henry, Paul, and Black Hawk many times.
Oh, we were playing Black Hawk the other day, and Shannon says, man, that's good country music. Right? I said, yeah. If you go look up Black Hawk, if you don't remember, if you can't place the band name with the music, because I thought 90s country was really good. I don't like country music anymore, but I thought the last great era of country music was 90s country. Susie Boggess and what's the Judd Ashley? No, what's her name? Ashley, Naomi? No, Naomi died. I'm see. That's how little I know about country music. Winona Judd. Oh my God, some of that stuff. Amazing country music. Alan Jackson. That stuff was good. Alan was very traditional sounding, but I like traditional country music.
Hike with Mike says he's digging the Jackson pull-up shirt.
I love this shirt. It's heavy. It's not a summer shirt, but I've got a lot of, we like to, when we shop, Shannon will try to get something with good colors. And I always try to find something with good color because I'm like that, I remember someone when I got into Vancouver in the 90s, someone came to, oh, Jesus, are you gay? I'm going, what? Because I always wore very bright shirts. And he always saw me on Denman. And he says, every time I see you, you're wearing a really bright shirt. I said, why would you equate that to being gay? I just like bright colors. Why would you? Oh, nothing. And he just kept going. Big guy, too. Really, really big guy. And then I saw him one more time like that. I said, hey, how's it going? He kept going, why would he ask me that?
Rick May, do you have a favorite one-hit wonder band? And whack that like button.
Whack the like button.
Yes, so please hit that like button. We so appreciate it. One-hit wonder.
You're like Shannon, but Henry, who's a friend of ours, Henry's not a one-hit wonder. Yeah, Springtime Mama.
A one-hit wonder band. Gosh. Do you have a favorite one that you can think of?
Well, people always say Hot Child in the City, but Nick Gilder and Sweeney Todd had Roxy Roller. So technically, I like those 2 songs. I remember going, they're kind of novelty-esque, but I like, there's so many. I'd say that Moonlight Feels Right because I really love that album so much. All my friends gave me hell for liking it. I told Bruce Blackman that when I interviewed him. But they had 2 hits. I don't know. One-hit wonders. We did a whole bunch of things on them. Remember all the videos we did on Rocky Street Book?
Robert Lapointe, John, you're really hitting me. I'm largely a popster. I like melodic, and I especially like recordings that feature rich orchestral arrangements. Otherwise, I love full-on guitar rock. not metal. That's not for him. But.
Get into Jude Cole. I like power pop a lot. I like Jude Cole, Mark Cohen. Mark Cohen's more of an Hornsby-esque, a little bit. Came out around the same time. But all the Mark Cohen albums and Jude Cole albums, you'd be surprised by how incredibly good. They didn't have hits after, Walking in Memphis. I think Mark Cohen might have had another one from the following album. But his stuff is so good. It really is. Go on Spotify or Apple and just listen to his stuff. There's a Mark Cohen song called Miles Away. Man, it's so catchy. And it doesn't even have a lot of hits. I'm going, God, this song should have been a hit. Anyway.
Darren says, John, you and Shannon have switched roles. Shannon would always wear glasses on Friday night. Now you are.
Well, I wear glasses all the time.
And I only wear glasses when I read, but I now have the iPad so at least a good 1.5 feet away from me so I can read it.
Now, if I had to read, I'd have to take my glasses off. Because I'm nearsighted. So when I work, I never have the glasses.
And I keep looking down. I'm like this far away from the screen, so it actually works out pretty good.
When I'm driving, I have to drive with my glasses on. But when I'm walking around the house, I don't always have them on because I don't need them. Shannon has way worse eyesight than me, but she's wearing contacts.
Yeah, like when I take out my contacts from my glasses and I take off my
she
glasses,
can't see anything.
I don't know where I put them. I'm like, where's my glasses? Hike with Mike, One Hit Wonder is a feature episode for you guys, right?
Oh, we could do so many.
One, yes.
Yeah. Those do well. Shannon was just saying tonight, you sure you want to do a freeform one? I'm going, because the other ones
it's nice every
well.
now and then just to have something where people can just sort of chime in whatever they want. Balm Patch Videos. Hey guys, have you heard of Elton John imitating Mick Jagger while he sings country?
No, but I look up Tim Curry doing Mick Jagger. Tim Curry from Rocky Horror Picture Show and Home Alone 2 and so many other movies that he was great in.
David says, my favorite one-hit wonder is Smoke from a Distant Fire by Sanford
Townsend Band. Yeah. I bought this, I'm pretty sure Lou was the flip side. I bought the 45, Lolly Lou. And if you look up, and Lou's from that album, Lou is one of those great bouncy songs. And the production on that album is amazing. Yeah, I was just looking into them a little while ago because I really like their harmonizing and their vocals.
Mr. Fulton Mraz, hey guys, next month on Thursday, July 20th is going to be my 24th birthday.
24?
Yeah, that's nice and young.
Hey, good. Thank you for being on here. We appreciate it.
Tina says the late Tommy.
Happy birthday, by the way.
The late Tommy Keene was the best of the power pop artists. Got to talk to him at the Loda in DC.
There's so many power pop artists that I'd love to talk to. Like for instance, who is it? Not Tool. Oh, are we almost there? Oh God. Tonic. That was more pop rock, not power pop. I love Tonic more than most things that from the 90s. Tonic was so in my A-list. I just love that stuff. They were big Zeppelin fans, so there's a couple of anthem-y songs that they put out. Remember, we used to listen. When we met, Tonic was a big band.
Pope Dope, do you have a favorite David Bowie album?
No, I was never a Bowie fan. Never, ever. I saw Bowie in concert, really enjoyed it, knew all the songs. And the Tubes opened, then Peter Gabriel, then David Bowie, outside of the Commonwealth Stadium in Edmonton.
Robert says, identifying a single fave one-hit wonder is hard, but 99 Red Balloon stands out for me.
Oh, she was so cute. Remember the German version? I was in radio. I was just getting in radio when I got a radio in '83. So Madonna was taking off, Culture Club. There's so many things that were big. Naked Eyes. We were playing a lot of that techno kind of stuff. Howard Jones. Luba was starting to, get a lot of traction from Canada. It was a great, great time to be in music. I was working at one of the top stations, my first radio job at one of the top stations in Edmonton. I'm still friends with the program director who hired and fired me and sold me that beautiful studio downstairs for $1,000. We made up we met up at a telethon once, and he told me, John, it's not personal. I went, I understand, Len. And I interviewed Len. If you look up on the Canadian channel, look up John Beaudin, Len Tucson. It's a great interview with one of the biggest radio legends in Edmonton. Great radio mind. He was hard on me, but man, I learned a lot from him.
Oh,
Are we done?
We are. I'm just looking through here. It's so nice to see everybody chatting with everybody else
Yeah.
here. I really like them. Having to kind of sift through it, I'm like, oh.
Because after I start recognizing certain people, right? I mean, we've had a lot of friendships. A lot of people, you know, they'll ask me really, hey, can I be Facebook friends with you? And I always say, as long as you're not really political on your Facebook page, or like if every second thing is a new age meme, or like, I mean, we've got to have connections, right? Not that I'm a new agey guy. I'm more of a Buddhist dude, but if someone is on there and everything they post about is not about them, it's just about other stuff. So for the most part, we Facebook. Well, not her as much. She's more private, but for me, because she gets weird letters. You know, sometimes men like to cross the boundary a little bit, but anyway, we ignore those.
We just want to say thank you for joining us tonight. It was a lot of fun.
We
will have a topic next week. Have you thought about what you'd like to chat with?
Well, someone had suggested, because I just put up Pick Withers, of the original drummer for the first 4 Dire Straits album, and a few other drummers lately. Why some drummers leave successful bands. So we may do that. Sometimes it's because they die, like Keith Moon and John Bonham. But other times, why do they leave? Well, creative differences, of course, right? That's the biggest thing. Or just not getting along. Or the fame. Once money gets involved and fame gets involved, all hell breaks loose. That's what happens. You find out who someone really is. You know that thing we used to say? We used to say this when we first met. We took a road trip together to Cannon Beach. I'll say this before we leave. Really early on. We'd only known each other for less than a month. And Shannon looked at me and she said, you know this is a make or break it trip. I said, well, what do you mean? Well, where's sleeping? Mr. 11 years older than her. What are you talking about? I'm Big St. Bernard. And she said, well, you know, you learn, it's not that far away. We were in Vancouver at the time. We lived in Vancouver. She said, well, road trips are make it or break it for relationships. And I went, yeah, I kind of knew that, and I knew we'd get along when we did. Then we went to Seattle, and then we went to California, and we always did really, really well. We weren't like a big fighting couple.
That's because he would drive and I would sleep in the car the whole way.
She's always sleeping. Always sleeping. You know that video of the guy who takes a picture of his wife sleeping in every road trip? It's on, look it up. Wife sleeps on every road trip. Just look that up. It's really, really, really funny.
Sleeps with mouth
and he's driving like this.
That would be me.
You don't sleep with your mouth open, so that's good.
Yeah, but I'm not a great road navigator.
So anyway, that was a test. But being in a rock band with success is like a test like that. I'm circling back. See, I was going someplace.
Yeah.
And Chase is not learning that. He might never learn that. He says, I hoped I learned that because I hope I'm in this successful band. Our son, he's 19. He's an incredible drummer. So he's learning that lesson. That's what happens. You know, money and fame gets involved and people change. I always say if I was Justin Bieber, I'd be dead. It's a lot of fame for someone so young. But anyway, he so far has made it. Not that I want to buy Justin Bieber's music to support any of that, but that's okay. Anyway, thanks, guys. Love you guys.
Bye. Thank you so much.
So look in the description if you want to support the channel. There's a lot of ways you can support us.
Thank you so much for hitting the like button. We really appreciate it.
Yeah, you can make a donation. You can join our Patreon. We're about to put a whole bunch of videos on our Patreon this weekend. We usually do it in chunks. We'll do it like every 2-3 weeks. We'll put like 30 videos on there, and we're about to do that. So a lot of good interviews coming up.
Thank you so much. Till next week.
See you guys.
Bye.
Bye.